I'm going to try to do these videos here a little shorter so I can kind of show the scene by scene situation. But, yeah, some definitely some of the most sinister stuff I've ever come across in my life, ever imagined. And you know, as you can see, the focus here is on the unknowing African American, but let me remind all of you that it's the Lord of the Rings, and then you got to think about all of those Olympic rings. As I said, all of these people, not just the African Americans, the Americans in general, in the majority of the world. You know, it's just unfortunate that we see the focus here is very heavily on the African populace, and there's always been major drama there between you know, those two races. You know, not that I got any drama between anybody, absolutely not. Everybody is my brother, my mother, or my sister. Just as Jesus Christ said, if you can keep the word of God, then you are my mother, you are my brother, you are my sister. And I'm my brother's keeper, I'm my sister's keeper, and I'm my mother's keeper. But the Father is keeper of us all. And through us, he keeps each other. And I'm going to keep this brother and these other brothers from different mothers with no problem at all. Laying my life down on the line, so that whether they hear or not, at least those of you who do will know in your heart what's true, and that it is worth living for at the cost of death by the hands of those that don't really see and have never known the Spirit to begin with. His name is BB. BB. Now how am I going to equate this? Because, you know, the bees are supposed to be the Masons, right? And then remember where I showed you in the Transformers movie, Sam's best friend was Bumblebee. Okay? So then automatically you start feeling at ease if you're in this organization, or maybe you're one of these diverse colors. You start thinking, okay, well, maybe there's still hope yet. This guy doesn't understand it like he thinks he does. Yeah, I do. I understand it, as the Spirit shows it. His name is BB Ellis. Right. Luckiest man in Flint, because it gets the hottest girls in the world. There's got to be a little bit of resentment there, right? You know, he's a big star, and then you can think about, of all the huge basketball stars that got what? White wives. White wives. Without a doubt. And of course, all of the other entertainment, you know, music industry, everything that goes with it. And then there's a very peculiar thing in here where Jackie Moon is introduced in one of the blonde-haired cheerleaders, and he says, and she hopes to become an astronaut one day, but I don't think that she can do it. And then he introduces her name. She's hoping to become an astronaut. Ass. To and fro not. But as he would think, she's become a fro not. And as you see, they don't want them froze going to the moon. Not at least the way they think. So he even admits for the blonde-haired cheerleader that she's hoping to become an astronaut, but he don't think she's going to be able to do it. Well, that's one of the people they're cutting out and duping, because of course they got a particular number, they got a strike sheet, and instead of adding people on it to go, it's more about taking people off that know. In some instances. B.B. Ellis. Now, how does that make sense? How does that make sense? We have to think New York City. Okay, we got the BB, that's the double right there. So he's been marked as double just like Scootsy Doubleday. And then Ellis. Now, what do you think about New York City with race? Welcoming in the masses and the dirty and the starving and, you know, all that stuff. Where do they do that at? Where do they welcome the races in at? At Ellis Island. B.B. Ellis, full of race. And then what is cremation of care? Care is an anagram for what? Race. So that would be what? Cremation of care. Not that I'm making it that way, but I think these guys are, whether you understand it or not. So this would be, of course, you know, you'd say, well, how do these guys, if they're a part of the lodge and they're a part of the stuff, and they see a little bit of the symbols and they're getting taught a little bit of the info, how do they not know what's going on? Well, it's because they're being made to think they're a part of it, as you can see with B.B. Ellis, but of course B.B. Ellis might not see as far as he thinks he does. You know? And I don't think that they're portraying him actually as the luckiest man in the world, because he's going to be in essence to that rabbit that done died. Maybe shooting themselves in their own foot, their own rabbit's foot, so to say. And I'm doing the warning, you know, I don't want that to happen. And it's not some code I'm speaking to where I'm letting just people know what's going on or something. No, if you can't see me speaking out against this, if you can't understand the words that I'm saying, then you're blind as a bat. I mean, you know, and if you've got me all just to where, you know, 90% of you guys are all agents and occultists watching, then shame on you. Shame on you, because it still works out in our benefit. Jesus Christ says, go to the lost sheep. Well, you'd have to be the lost sheep, wouldn't you? And this is wrong. This is wrong. But that's not even what I'm trying to show you. Notice the yellow pom-pom right beside him. Okay, that ain't no accident. Yellow is intrinsic to an old slang for somebody being scared. Now, scared, scarred. Remember that? Remember the beast and scared and scarred, right? So if we've got children of the corn, that's where that yellow is going to come into play. Of course, these people are being made to think they're the corn, because the corn is what? A kernel of wheat. That's what Jesus Christ said. But remember, he said Satan first seeks to sift the wheat. And now we found out Satan associated with the what? Aryans. At least the physical people that think that they're following after this bloodline stuff and then pushing it on other people. And then they really lost sight of the actual real personality of Satan as the high spirit being who's really sealed and already been handled by Jesus Christ. Now it's just time for Caligastia, a.k.a. Inky, for the consummation of his crimes to come to the full. And then, of course, those that follow after him. And then, of course, I show you all what the plan is and how it interrelates through the sight that I've been given. So there's the yellow pom-pom. If you don't think I got proof for all this, I can provide it. The yellow is gonna be made to seem like gold, okay, for the African American, as he's looking at the symbolism that they're applying to him. Oh, that's gold. You're gold. You're gold nugget. You're golden child. Everything that you already saw happen in the movie industry. But see, now it starts coming back into corn, and then when you get children of the corn, you get the flip-flop between the horror film trilogy, or how many of them, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them things, I don't know, Children of the Corn, and it's all a huge bloody bath of murder. Children of the Corn, everybody knows that real freaky, weird horror film, you know? And so now we got the corn with the unicorn, and then the unicorn is just one corn. He ain't corn with this other corn, who he's calling corn dog. You know what I mean? He can't supply the truth to it. Not at least the truth of what he's promised to him, and you'll see that in here as well. So the yellow is going to be marking them for fear, but to these initiates that think they're a part of the beehive, but in all reality, they're the full of race of which they're seeking to get rid of. They think they're the problem. Now you see comes to the part that gets left behind. And that's the 56% with the 11 that I showed you now is intrinsic to this guy. Yeah, this guy's got number 11. Remember, 56% gets left behind. Remember I told you there's something going on with this part over here? Yeah, we ain't talking about that right now. Just want you to see about BB Ellis, what the Ellis means, full of race. And we had an audio outage, unfortunately. Who's the 11, right? It's this guy right here. That's the 11. Now, interestingly enough, there's something that takes place with that side as well. There's something that takes place with the middle portion. You know? All of them. They all deal it out raw to each other. And then, of course, the full repercussion for the instigator takes place. The intimidator. You know what I mean? As he likes to refer to himself. Promoting all the intimidation of everyone. So this yellow with the monatomic goal of 56% gets left behind. 5 plus 6 is 11, right? Yeah, that's right. And then 2 plus 3, 23 is 5. Exactly. Exactly. 5 is a key number, at least with them, in a relationship with man and females, I'll tell you that much. So while this train's about to come, let's let this continue. Show you something else with the yellow. There's the marches. I want to make this video quick, but and then Bush, Bavaria. Oh wow, here's the rock and roll generation that they used in the 60s and 70s to deliver their occultic message. That somehow made an unbelievable score, as you're going to see being portrayed here. But they don't ever really get paid, not in full anyway. But anyway, we'll talk about that later. Something important that I want you to see as we lead up to this one part with them sitting around with Cornelius at the table. That's right, I said Cornelius. Notice he's wearing the red, white, and blue colors of Orion, Osiris, the god of the dead, the god of doubles. You don't believe me? Google it. Orion, Osiris, god of doubles. Okay? And then this is where he smacks down Scootsy Doubleday. Unreal. Unreal. And it's those colors, you know what I mean? It's the red, white, and blue. It's the good old red, white, and blue. It's Orion. You know? The Orion cross. You know? Showing himself for what he is. You know? Maybe not openly. Here we go. Unreal. This is going to shake you up. And it shakes me up. And I don't like it. I don't like knowing that I'm dealing with people like this. And you know what's unreal? I just noticed something that is going to prove my sight for something I said earlier about that black dude being the Rock. And I can't believe this. And it might not be what I'm seeing. I don't know. But that beer bottle right there looks like it says Rock. Or like Rolling Rock. Or I can't tell. It looks like the green Rolling Rock bottle, but I'm not sure. It even looks like the shape of a rock on it. That's Cornelius. Cornelius. Did you get that? Okay. He's wearing a yellow shirt, guys. Now, there's something with the gold nugget that you'll see all of the basketball players wearing around their neck. Most of them are wearing a gold nugget, which symbolize that monatomic gold. As I said, they're all that gold. It's about to be transferred, transmutated, transfigured into that higher state. Now, of course, this is why this guy being an initiate is going with this yellow shirt color right here. It's really what he's thinking, that they're giving him this honor and privilege with this yellow code here symbolizing the gold, because then that would be Ankh Goldman, right? It's supposed to be the savior. And everything with the gold and all the stuff that they teach them on the lower levels, but they don't really understand about that 44 monatomic gold, right? Until I guess the Spirit of Truth came around. Well, he's got the yellow shirt. His name's Cornelius. Let's take a look at which arm he's got that's injured, and that would be the left arm, guys. That means he's left-handed. And that would be to them that he's not the favor of the right hand of God, as I said. And that's by no accident that his left arm is injured, to establish that he is left-handed. That's his arm that he was using, whatever he did to injure it, meaning that he's left-handed. So, of course, you would return to the Bible in the very peculiar situations with left-handed peoples and cities that were considered very bad. But nonetheless, Cornelius is not going to be treated fairly here. We have to now see the whole room is red, right? See, the whole room is red. That's the red zone. That's the red rum, okay? And then there's all the color coding going on with northern Israel, red and white. And then he's balanced from the yellow. He's wearing yellow, making this dude feel a little better, okay? But then he balances it with the green. And then you know that's Little Green Man on the Moon. Of course, Jackie with 33. And then the other guy's got the green shirt, so he's balanced. The only guy that's wearing the Nana suit over here, I mean, I laughed because it's Nana suit. It's just unreal because that's Inanna. And then, of course, we're talking about bananas. And then who they're making the gorillas, which is in significance with Go-Go Gorilla and a banana that we've already talked about. But then there's a problem because, of course, Go-Go Gorilla was purple. And then that shifts to him. And then it shifts to them. But they've also shifted it to them with the color purple, and then Oprah Winfrey and the OWN network NWO. So if his name's Cornelius, something bad is going to happen to him here because he's in the red zone. And once again, he's on that side of the screen again, right? And then I told you who thinks he's over here. Truly, that would be what? Red and white. That's the double. That's the 11. That's Upper and Lower Egypt right there. Jumped on over to the left-hand side and left who stranded over here on this darkened right eye side, thinking he's all golden, but in all reality, he's marked for fear. As I said, the fear of God. In other words, he's in the trauma zone. That's the red zone. We're going to see blood right here, aren't we? We're going to see blood right here, aren't we? You'd have to. If their codes were correct with at least their doctrine of deceptions, then, of course, who they're trying to deceive is right there. Cornelius, his own friend, of which he says that you're just in the club, basically, on your fantasy life. Let's keep it that way. Let's continue. Now, let's talk about the drunkards of Ephraim for a minute, because you just saw Jackie Moon admitting to his drunkenness. And then let's talk about the drunkards of Ephraim, and then their crown withers. But then something's peculiar about Cornelius, or not Cornelius, but the other guy that's coffee black. He actually names him Clarence Withers in the movie, and that's where I said he's shifting the identity. But you can't shift the identity because the action is what creates the identity. So if Jackie Moon's the real drunk, then we know he's the drunkards of Ephraim, of which we've already talked about, whose crown is going to wither. He's thinking he's going to be back on the team, and they're about to say, nah, you're on the team in your fantasy land. Cornelius, do you see his name? So he's left-handed. He ain't even making it out the driveway is what they're saying. No, you're not on the team. In your fantasy life, you're on the team. And then Jackie says, yeah, let's keep it that way, with this little inside joke. See that, Cornelius? Now, am I remembering something from Planet of the Apes with an ape named... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I am. But then he starts talking something here about three cheeses. Cheeses are yellow, and then that's the moon, and then yellow moon, and then everything that goes with it, with what Cornelius is thinking is about to happen. So I'm going to fast forward this and then pause it when it gets to the right spot. Cornelius has just been told he's only on the team in his fantasy life. We can see the division. There's red and white Israel. That's the double over there. That's the unification they're trying to unify. He's already unified over there on the left-hand side. Another drunkard of Ephraim. There's Cornelius. Said something wrong. See, Cornelius is about to get the fear of God put into him. In essence, their God, this God of threats and force. Notice he's got the yellow shirt. Remember what I told you days ago about the fear color with the yellow? And then how I'm linking it up with the corn, the children of the corn. Now these are the children of the corn that get their father, the murderer. Look. He's got the gun on him. Gun's not loaded. That's what they're thinking. All right, now Cornelius is feeling a little better now, huh? But remember, this is all a game to these guys, right? It's all a game. It's all fun and game. I guess it's even funnier to these guys in their minds when they imagine that Cornelius really has no idea what's taking place here. Now he's about to throw the gun on the table, but I want you to notice that it's about to fire. Cornelius on the darkened right eye side of the screen, guys. That's the red. That's the trauma. That's the blood. He's got the yellow shirt on. Notice what arm you're about to see. Wow. You just saw blood. He got shot. And notice, I did get shot. All happy about it. Remember how they used to call the black dude buckwheat? And then we're talking about corn as the kernel of wheat. You know what I mean? On Little Rascals. I did get shot. And then, you know what the other guys are going to say? We just dodged a bullet. They dodged a bullet, but not children of the corn Cornelius. Yeah. Who's looking up to these guys like he's on their team. Like they're going to be, you know, fair to him. Incredible. Mr. Big Stuff, who do you think you are? He's got him in the fur coat. Of course, that's linking it up with the fur of flying that we saw with the Looney Tunes. See what I mean? And then there's some stuff with the ring goes on where we get him in the locker room where they throws a ring at Clarence Withers, the black guy on the darkened right eye on the front cover, and they say, here's a token of something that you'll never achieve. And they throw the ring at him, saying you'll never achieve the ring. That guy right there. they're saying in essence, using him as the symbol for that racial stereotype that's never gonna receive the ring. It's in here in the movie, guys. I think at this point I'm gonna stop it, because here he is showing his ring. I'm gonna stop it because this could take too long to upload, and it really is just it's a sad thing. I don't really, I'm not happy about talking about it. And I know how many people who have already given up Jesus, you know? The one real thing that they got on their side, the one real thing that cares and loves for them, that has not cremated his care for them. And they've just been taught to reject him for some power doctrine of magic and myth, you know? And then I want you to see where the blues are. It tells you right here in the seal. Here's where the blues are, and then we're talking about red and white down here. That's Upper and Lower Egypt. And then they're only unifying the red and white, and then they've made all of these others think that they were the blues. And then really the blues are here, and they're trying to bring them back down. So then they're going to shift the others that think they're the blues and bring them up. And in essence, they don't plan on bringing them back. So this would be the moon location, and this is those blue bloods that are sealed up there that we saw being symbolized as the green man being covered by that ivy, and I told you that symbolized he couldn't come back down. That's Ezekiel 17. Symbolized he couldn't come back down. You want to see the reference for the red and the blue with the Gilligan's Island, then you go to Ezekiel 23, the blue captains, of which we saw the daughters Jerusalem and Samaria were guilty with laying with. And then Samaria, the daughter Samaria is Ginger, of course, the actress, the superstar. And then the daughter Jerusalem, Ezekiel 23, is Marianne. And then of course she's the black-headed one. I said she's supposed to be brought to the barn. All these would-be redheads that they're jinxing right now and applying the mark to are who they plan on dividing away. Just like you saw with what Jesus Christ described, and those women that were grinding together, and then one is taken, one is left. You can really see that it's a racial situation that is even further locked up in a monetary confusion of monies, you know, because she's buying the stairway to heaven. But to even begin the process, you got to be the right color, at least from their perspective. There's the Twiggy Munson. All right, remember I said he's number 44 in there, and that represents the division. That represents the twig that was getting taken. Notice he wasn't even a woman. He was another dude that looked like a lady. So when all of y'all females into this sacred feminine and think these guys are pumping y'all all up and history's all about y'all to make y'all goddesses and stuff, nah, they've been using you too. Anyway, guys, I think that everybody's learned more than they bargained for. I'll be back.